Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandhar Vikagiri Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Juki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Juki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Guru Dev Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Vaiṣṇavas Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupanu Varya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopala Bhattadas Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damadaya Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parashad Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जाय श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जाय श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय जय श्रील भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर स्वा-niyama Dvādaśakam की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल Hare Krishna, Sarveshwari Mataji, Jai Shri Didi, Champak Mataji, and I see a couple people on YouTube and Facebook. If you write a comment, I'll know who you are. Harivo. Oh, and Nitai Mukesh ji, Hare Krishna. So, what am I going to say? Sorry, I went to sleep really late last night and they did a whole Durga Puja thing all night. So, didn't get much sleep. So, my brain's very not clear. Actually, just now I started writing my next post. I'm not sure if you saw yesterday, I posted on part 2 on the topic of memorization. And just now I started writing on the new topic regarding verse memorization. I started writing on the topic of sleep because it's very relevant for me right now. I just wrote like a couple small paragraphs, but yeah, this morning I wanted to go through the last 3 verses that we're going to go over now because I'm still not so familiar with them. And I took my card out with me on my walk, and I walked for 40 minutes trying to give my attention to memorizing the verse. And even after struggling to like focus on the verse, it was just I probably could have gotten the same amount of memorization done in 5 minutes as like you know, I can't even talk properly right now. So, and then I just now searched online to see, does sleep affect memory? And I got so many results, and not just like random people, but like from, from doctors and, like very prestigious papers written on the top how sleep and memory are very closely linked. And so I've always struggled with going to sleep on time. Like I usually go to sleep at around 11:30, midnight, sometimes past midnight. And I've tried so many different techniques to try to go to sleep early, and nothing ever seems to work. But maybe maybe like I found when I write articles and different like our blog posts on different topics, it makes it more real for me, even more than if I just tell somebody. Like when I actually take the time to write it down and then I send it out, it makes it like um I don't know. It's really helpful for me personally. So I think after if I write on this topic of sleep and memorizing verses, maybe that will give me some enthusiasm that oh, if I go to sleep on time, then I'll actually be able to capture a new verse in my memory very easily rather than having to struggle. So, um, anyhow, I'm not sure when I'll finish writing this, but uh, let's go through the Sva-niyama Dvādaśakam by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. This is I meant to finish it yesterday, but we ran out of time. And so, yeah, there are 3 verses remaining, and we'll see how I'm able to explain it. The last verse I'm mostly like I'm more rusty with. The other 2 I think I can do. Um, and then tomorrow we will start going through Shri Govardhanvas Prarthana Dashakam. And as I've mentioned a bunch of times now, um, from tomorrow onwards, these shloka programs will be a lot more short. We'll just go through 1 verse, and so 1 verse a day. So I'm guessing it will take me like 15 minutes to explain. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to share my screen. We will recite um we'll recite all the verses of Sva-niyama Dvādaśakam through just in one go, with no explanation of the sense of the translations, just so that um actually this will be a fun experiment. I am going to get a timer. I'm going to see how long it takes to recite the entire Sva-niyama Dvādaśakam. So 1 second, let me just get my phone. All right. I'm gonna start the timer. There it is. Stopwatch. Okay. 1 second. Let me just share my screen and then we will begin. And then I like doing this because then all right, I have this many minutes. I can recite the entire Sva-niyama Dvādaśakam. Then you don't have, where's, okay. Sva-niyama Dvādaśakam. There. Okay, so Jai Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki Jai. 12 verses describing personal vows. Sva-niyama Dvādaśakam. All right, starting the timer now. Guru Shri Gaurange Tarudita Subhakti Prakarane Shachi Sunor Lila Vikasita Sutirte Nijamano Harer Namni Preshte Harititi Shurupānugajane Shuka Prokte Shastre Pratijani Mamastang Kalurati Sada Vrindaranye Madhura Rasadhanye Rasamayam Parang Shakting Radhang Paramarasamurting Ramayati Sachaivayam Krishna Nija Bhajana Mudram Upadishan Shachi Sunur Gode Pratijani Mamastang Prabhuvara Navairagyam Grahyam Bhavati Nahiyar Bhakti Janitam Tatha Jnanam Bhanam Chitti Adi Visheshang Namanute Spriha Me Nashtange Hari Bhajana Sokyam Nahiyatas Tato Radha Krishna Prachura Paricharya Bhavatu Me. कुटीरेऽपि क्षुद्रे व्रजभजनयोगे तरुतले शचीसूनुस्तीर्थे भवतु नितरां मे निवसति न चान्यत्र क्षेत्रे विबुधगणसेव्ये पुलकितो वसामि प्रासादे विपुलधनराजान्वित इह न वर्णे शक्तिर्मे न खलु ममता याश्रमविदो न धर्मे नाधर्मे मम रतिर्हस्ते क्वचिरपि परं तत्तद्धर्मे मम जडशरीरे धृतमिदम् अतो धर्मान् सर्वान् शुभजनसहायान् अभिलषे सुदैन्यं सारल्यं सकलसहनं मानददनं तयं स्वीकृत्य श्री हरिचरणसेवा मम तप सदाचारोऽसौ मे प्रभुपरपरार्य समुदिता प्रभोश्चैतन्यस्याक्षयचरितपीयूषकृतिषु न वैकुण्ठे राजे न च विषयकार्ये मम रतिर्न निर्वाणे मोक्षे मम मतिरिहास्ते क्षणमपि व्रजानन्दारण्यर्धरिविलसितं पावनमपि कथञ्चिन्मां राधान्वयविरहितं नो सुखयति न मे पत्नी कन्या तनयजननी बन्धुनि च यम् हरो भक्ते भक्तौ न खलु यदि तेषां सुममता अभक्तानाम् अन्नग्रहणमपि दोषो विषयिणम् कथं तेषां सङ्गात् धरि भजनसिद्धिर्भवति मे असत्तर्कारन्दान् जडसुखपरान् कृष्णविमुखान् कुनिर्वाणासक्तान् सततनतिदूरे परिहरन् अराधं गोविन्दं भजति नितरां दम्भिकतया तरभ्यासे किन्तु क्षणमपि न यामि व्रतमिदम् प्रसादान्न क्षीराशनवसनपात्रादिभिर्हम् पदार्थार्निर्वाह्य व्यवहृतमसङ्गतुकुविषये पसन् ईशा क्षेत्रे युगलभजनानन्दितमनस् तनुं मोक्षे काले युगपरपराणां पदतले शचीसूनो ग्रहणचतुरो यो व्रजवने पराराध्यं राधां भजति नितरां कृष्णरसिकम् अहं त्वेतत्पदामृतमनुदिनं नैष्टिकमना वहेयं वै पीत्वा शिरसि च मुदा सन्नतियुता हरेर्दास्यं धर्मो मम तु चिरकालं प्रकृतितो महामाया योगात् अभिनिपतितदुःखजलदौ इतो यास्याम्यूर्ध्वं स्वनियमसुरत्या प्रतिदिनं सहायो मे मात्रं विततदलनि वैष्णवकृपा Kritam kenapyetat svabhajana vidho swam-niyamakam patedyo vishraddha priya yugala ruper pitamana vraje radha krishno bhajati kila samprapya nilayam swamanjarya paschar vivida varivasyam sakurute. All right, so how long did that take? Let's see. 7 minutes, 16 seconds, 44 milliseconds. So, all right. If you ever have 7 minutes on your hands, then you know, okay, I could do the entire Sva-niyama Dvādaśakam. Haribo Chatamai Mataji. Haribo. So, okay, now we will go over the last 3 verses. Actually, before that, let's just get an overview of all the verses. It's always nice to do that. 1 second. So as I've shown you before, I've had a system of when I memorize a verse, like every time I write it down on one of my index cards. Yeah, every time I write down a verse on my index cards, then I add it into this. And here I write the first word of each line. So the first verse, Guru, Shachi Sunora, Harinamni, Shuka. Then Sada, Parang, Sachai Vayam, Shachi Sunam. So then, yeah. And one thing, and then I write a little summary of like, what's the essence of this verse? And so I'll read what I wrote here for all these verses. But something I was thinking of today, well, I think a better system actually would be to write just the essence of each line, individual line. Right now, I was just trying to write the essence of the entire verse. But yeah, and then I also pick one word. I wrote about this yesterday, anyhow. Okay. Although what I wrote yesterday, I did it very quickly after our program. I had to leave and I wanted to send it off before I left. And so I wrote the post and I checked it once very quickly and I didn't have time to go over it more. And then I just sent it off. And then when I read it in the email, I noticed that I repeated the same sentence in different words like 6 times. And so I think I could cut it down a lot. But anyways, the essence is there. It's on the topic of focusing on the meaning of the verse rather than just the order of random new Sanskrit words that you learn. But if you focus on what is the line saying, what is the essence, what is the points being made, then that will trigger your memory rather than just what's the Sanskrit word that comes after that. It makes it and also when you just try to memorize a sequence of Sanskrit words without giving more emphasis on the meaning, then it's a lot more difficult. It's not as fun, really. I mean, fun's not the right word, but it's not as relishable, and it also doesn't stick in your head for very long because you can remember ideas and points, but just memorizing random Sanskrit words without any meaning behind them is really difficult. And yeah. Anyhow, okay, so the first verse of Sva-niyama Dvādaśakam, we're starting from the beginning. 1, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says, may I, birth after birth, develop rati for Guru, Gauranga, his instructions, the Dham, Diksha, the Diksha mantras, Nam, the holy titis in the year, the Rupa Nugas, and Srimad Bhagavatam. 2, Rasamurti Krishna always gives pleasure to Sri Rādhā. He teaches his own bhajan to himself as the son of Shachi in Gaura. May he be my Lord birth after birth. 3, I do not accept vairagya not born from bhakti, nor gyan if it doesn't acknowledge the distinct traits of consciousness. I have no desire for Ashtanga yoga. There's no happiness in of bhajan in that. I only desire, like, may I only have profuse service to Shri Shri Radha Krishna. 4. May I reside in Shachi Sunu's Tirtha, in a kutir, in a simple kutir under a tree, not in any other place, no matter what. 5. I have no attachment, no asakti for varna. I have no mamata, no affinity for the rules of ashram. I don't have any rati, any interest in dharma or adharma, pious acts or impious acts. But I desire all those dharmas that are helpful for performing pure bhajan. 6. I embrace 5 qualities. What were those 5 qualities? Let's see if I can say. Humility. Yeah, humility, simplicity, being able to tolerate everything that happens, giving honor to all, and compassion. So I embrace these 5 qualities. Hari Seva is the service of Hari is my only austerity. Like that's the only thing I put myself through austerity for. And anyways, whatever. And my sadachar, the conduct that I follow, my code of conduct, is that which is taught by the devotees of Mahaprabhu and which is found in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 7. I have no rati, no attachment for Vaikuntha or for material activities. I have no desire for nirvana moksha, for impersonal liberation. I feel no happiness from Hari's pastimes, even though they're purifying, but I feel no happiness when I hear Hari's pastimes that in which there's no bliss of Vraj, and especially which has no connection to Srimati Radhika. And even Krishna's pastimes, even though they're so purifying, they don't give me any pleasure. That's really, yeah, really high conception. Okay, now verse 8. I have no relation with my family, I have no relation with my family if they have no sumamatas, no deep attachment for Hari's devotees, and for bhakti. Accepting non-devotee grains is a great fault. And by their association, how will I gain perfection in bhajan? Now, verse 9. Oh, I didn't write the last verses here. So 1 second. I did write summary somewhere else though. 1 second. Let me just open this up. Okay. So verse 9. I never go near those who arrogantly worship Krishna without Radha. Even if everything about them is great and they're keeping distance from those who are against Krishna, those who are materialistic enjoyers, those who are blinded by false logic, those who desire moksha and all that, like even though they're perfect in every way and they're always in good association and everything, but if they worship Hari without Radha, then I will never go near them ever, even for a moment, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says. All right, so then verse 10 is, my sustenance is Hari's prasad items, like Hari's remnant items. I sustain myself with, it mentioned like all the food items of Hari and the clothes, the cloth that Hari has worn, the utensils that's been used by Hari. And I have no attachment for material topics. And may I reside in Isha's kshetra. That means Sri Radha's land. And there I'll be absorbed in bhajan of the divine couple. And in this way, when the time comes, I will give up my body at the feet of those who are completely absorbed in the bhajan of the divine couple. So that's verse 10. Now, verse 11. Okay, well, we're going to go over these verses today. Maybe I'll just start explaining from this. Oh, no, I'll just continue. So he mentions, in verse 11, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura mentions that, I wish I had the card here. No, I'm just going to do it from my memory. It's good exercise for myself. Okay, so he says those who are expert at performing bhajan those who are expert at following the instructions of Mahaprabhu and who always are absorbed in serving Shri Radha, that person's the caraṇāmṛta of that person, I drink and I hold on my head. Yeah, and then verse 12 is he says that I will rise above the ocean of the dukkha jalado, the ocean of suffering, by every day by adhering to these vows, these niyams, every day. And my only support for this, the only help that I have to be able to accomplish this, to follow these vows, is the mercy of the Vaiṣṇavas, Vaiṣṇava Kripa. So that's verse 12. And then the last verse is the benediction verse. And I'm a lot less familiar with that verse. So we'll go over them now. But yeah, I find it really, I wrote about this yesterday, but I find it's really helpful to just be able to know the main point of what the essence of the verse, and be able to, I mean, I didn't do it very well just now because I'm just now like starting to, I'm just learning these verses for the first time. But just what I did now, trying to explain it in my own words, was now when I try to go through the verses, it's going to be so much easier. I'm going to get so much more out of it just because what I did right now. And so I highly recommend anytime that you learn a verse. I haven't memorized these last verses either. And so I'm at the very beginning stage right now. But when you're in the middle of learning a verse, if there's any person who would be willing to or patient enough to just listen to you try to fumble through the explanation even, then when you go to memorize it again, everything will stick a lot better, and you'll start to see things in the verse that you weren't able to see before. And it's so helpful in memorizing verses, being able to try to explain it. So and one thing, so as you saw, I make little summaries of the verses. And then also, like if you're trying to memorize a long sequence of verses, it's very helpful just to have one word or two words that describe the verse to you. And so then you can get the flow. You can say, okay, first verse was Rati, second verse was about my only Lord, third verse is about my attack, that I don't accept all these things. The fourth verse is like that. Then yeah, that's really helpful for her. And once you do that, then you can just like in 1 minute you can have the entire Sva-niyama Dvādaśakam in your head because you have one word to represent each verse. So what I did here, it says verse 1. I'll just, these are the single words that I selected for each verse. 1, Rati. 2, my Lord. 3, I don't accept. 4, my residence. 5, no dharma, no adharma. 6, 5 qualities, sadachar. 7, Hari's other pastimes. 8, not mine. These family members, not mine. 9, distance. 10, sustenance and shelter. 11, caraṇāmṛta. 12, adherence, Vaiṣṇava Kripa. 13, benediction. And so, yeah. All right, let's go through verses 11 through 12, the last 3 verses of Sva-niyama Dvādaśakam. And sorry, today's explanation might be a little bit more rusty than the other days. But Okay. We'll recite the Sanskrit and then I'll go over the translation and match it up to the Sanskrit words. Shachi suno ragya grahana chaturo yo vrajavane pararadyam radham bhajati nitaram krishna rasikam aham te tat padamritam naishtikamana vaheyang vaipitva shirasi chamuda sannati yuta. Okay, so in this verse, let's see what is the essence of each one of these lines. The first line is referring to somebody who's expert at following the instructions of Sachinandan, Gaura Hari. The second line is saying, and that person who is always absorbed in serving the supremely worshipable Sri Radha. The third line is saying, so that person, I daily, with a steadfast heart, that person's caraṇāmṛta. And then the last line says, I hold on my head and I drink. And I happily offer them obeisances. So that's the essence of these four lines. Now we'll go through the meaning of each word. That might be an interesting thing to do also, is just to have a single word for an English word to describe each line. I think I'm going to try doing that. I didn't think about that until just right now. So what would that be? What would be a single line, a single English word to describe each line here? I think this one would be follows instructions, worships Radha, the caraṇāmṛta, and I drink. I think that would be, four words to describe this verse. All right. Okay, so he who expertly follows the instructions of Sri Sachinandan and in the forests of Vraj. That's the first line. So expert is chatur. So he who is chatur, he who is expert in grahana. Grahana means to accept, or in other words, follow. Follow the agya, the instructions of Shachi Suno, of the son of Mother Shachi, Sachinandan. Something you'll notice whenever we go through these Sanskrit verses, like Sanskrit often has lots of adjectives before words, and so but when we translate it in English, we go backwards, and you'll see this all throughout. When we go through Govardhan Vaspartana Dashakam, you'll see how we're constantly going backwards. Like those who are expert in following the instructions of Sachinandan Gaur Hari, we just went completely backwards. Chaturu grahana agya Shachitsuno. So he who expertly follows the instructions of Sachinandan, yo means who, Vrajavane, in the forests, Vana means forest, of Vraj, who bhajati, who worships, nitaram, and wholeheartedly. Nitaram has two meanings. It means wholeheartedly and it also means constantly. So who wholeheartedly and constantly bhajati, worships, performs bhajan of pararadyam radham, of the supreme worshipable Sri Radha. Para means supremely and aradhyam means worshipable. So pararadhyam means supremely worshipable Sri Radha. Sri Radha, who is Krishna Rasikam. Krishna Rasikam means, you all know the word rasik, right? Rasik, and rasika is in the feminine. So that means, it either means somebody who is completely knowledgeable and expert in ras, or also it can mean somebody who is completely saturated in ras. So Srimati Radhika, she's Krishna Rasikam. She's completely saturated in Krishna ras. There's nothing, like she's made of Krishna ras, that's her complete absorption. Just like you get a rasgula and it's saturated in sugar water, and so it's like one with sugar water. That's how Srimati Radhika is with Krishna ras, completely saturated with Krishna ras. So that person, that person who follows the instructions of Shachinandan, that person who wholeheartedly and always worships that Sri Radha, who's saturated in Krishna ras, aham te tat padamritam. I shall naishtika mana. Naishtika means one, like naishtika means like eka nishta, one pointed devotion, completely steadfast. Naishtika, with a steadfast mana, heart. Anudinam, every single day. Etat padamritam, that person's padamritam. Amritam means nectar and pada means feet. So that person's caraṇāmṛta. So padamritam and caraṇāmṛta is the same exact thing. So the what do you say? The nectar foot water, the nectarian water that's bathed the feet of that person. To certainly, aham means I. Aham vaheyam. Vaheyam means I carry. I carry upon my shirasi, upon my head, and pitva, and I drink it. So having carried that paramrita on my head and having drunken it, and drinking it, cha means and, muda means joyfully, joyously. I will, hey, I didn't put that in the translation, did I? Anyhow, very happily, sannati yuta, I will offer my heartfelt obeisances. Okay, so hopefully all the words are clear here. I don't know what vai means. I think vai is probably something that means like certainly, but I have to look that up. I'll just look it up right now. What does vai mean? Yeah, vai means avashya. Avashya dharan koribo. Vaheyam vai. So vai means certainly. I will certainly carry shirasi on my head and drink pitva, having drunk. I will muda, very happily. I will sannati yuta, I will offer obeisances. Let me just see, sannati yuta. I'm looking at that word. Shushtu pranita, sorry, shushtu pranati jukta. Okay. So shushtu means very nicely, very, very heartfelt. Like I guess that's why I wrote heartfelt, but and so it's not like you just offer pranam without thinking or just mindlessly offering pranam, but no, shushtu, very nicely I offer pranam. And we went through Śrīla Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. He explains what is the meaning of pranam. It's ashtanga pranam. It's all the different limbs of our body, plus our speech, our mind, and wait, there's three things: our mind, speech, and can't remember what the third one was. But if we offer pranam without speaking something, without saying a prayer or offering the pranam mantra, and we're not thinking of the person that we're offering pranam to, then it's actually not a pranam. It's yeah. So that's why it says sannati pranam. Sun there, it means shushtu, very nicely, in a very serious, heartfelt way, with speaking and remembering the object in a mood of surrender, I offer pranam. If it just said nati, this means, offer obeisances, but it says sannati. All right. I don't know what yuta means though. Okay, so now we'll go over verse 12. Wait, no, let's say the Sanskrit one last time. Shachi sunoragya grahana chaturo yo vrajavane pararadhyam radham bhajati nitaram krishna rasikam ahang tve tat padamritam anudinam naishtikamana Vaheyang Vaipitva Shirasi Chamuda Sannati Yuta. And in this explanation that I gave, I'm not expecting everybody to all of a sudden remember what the meaning is of all these words, but hopefully by having heard the explanation, you'll be able to more easily match it up, what you see in the translation, to the Sanskrit. Like you'll be able to see, oh yeah, drink, that was pitva, right? And vaheyam, oh yeah, vaheyam was carry. And shirasi, on the head. Oh yeah, like that. I always try to make translations as simple as possible so that it's easier to match up to the Sanskrit. I don't really think about how nice well, I do think a little bit about how nice the English sounds, but I give more focus to how close does it line up with the Sanskrit. Because yeah, translations are just meant to be a little helper to help us understand what is the original words that I'm saying, like, the original Sanskrit words. Okay, adherence, Vaishnav Kripa. Harir dasyam dharmo mama tu chirakalam prakritito. Let me say that again. Harir dasyam dharmo mama tu chirakalam prakritito. Mahamaya yogad abhinipatita dukha jalado. Ito yasyam urdvam Sva-niyama suratya pratidinam sahayo me matram vitata dalane Vaiṣṇava kripa. Okay. Service to Sri Hari is my eternal inherent dharma. It's my natural dharma. So Harir Dasyam, that means service to Sri Hari, is my chirakala. Chirakala means for a very long time, eternally. It is my eternal chirakala dharma. Mama means my. So chirakala mama dharma, my dharma. And it says prakritito. Prakritito means inherent, natural, inherent. So it's my prakritito dharma, my natural, inherent dharma. Dharma means the function of my soul. And we all know that verse. Jiver Swarup hoy Krishner Nitya Das. That's who I am. That's my very nature. It's my nature and it's my function. Dharma and prakritito. But the word tu here is, tu means but. But Maha Maya Yogad. So Yogad means because of yoga means to connect, right? To conjoin, connect. So because of my deep connection with Mahamaya, because of my deep connection with Mahamaya, Abhini Patita, I have fallen, or I've been plunged down into the dukkha jalado. Jalado means ocean, and dukkha means suffering. So due to my close connection with Maya, Maha Maya Yogad Abhinipatita, I have fallen into the dukkha jaladao, into the ocean of misery, of suffering. Ita. What does ita means this, but what is it referring to? One second. Oops, wrong verse. Sorry, as I mentioned, I didn't get around to looking at this beforehand. Ita means, okay, ita here refers either to Maya, Maha Maya Yogad, or ita can also refer to dukkha jalado. So and yasyami means I will go, yasyami, I will go, urdhvam, above. I will go above, I will rise above ita. Ita, that means Mahamaya, or also means the ocean of suffering. Yeah, I will rise above Mahamaya or the ocean of suffering. Ito yasyam myurdvam. How will I do that? By pratidinam, every day. Prati means every, dinam, day. By every day, Sva-niyama suratya. By um, with devotion, with rati, with great devotion, with great dedication, Sva-niyam, by following, by observing these vows, adhering to these vows. Swa means my vows, these rules I set for myself. By every day adhering to these rules, then yasyami, I will go urdhvam, above. I'll rise beyond ita. That means Mahamaya or the dukkha jalado, the ocean of suffering. But how will I be able to do this? How will I be able to adhere to these vows with firm devotion? My only support, my only help, sahayo me means my, sahaya. My only, sahaya means support or help, and matra means only. So my only help, my only support is the vitata dalani. Vitata means illusion, dalani destroying. So the illusion destroying mercy of the Vaishnavas. Vitata dalani Vaishnava kripa. The illusion, vitata dalani, destroying mercy, kripa of the Vaishnavas. So my only support in this, to be able to daily adhere to these vows with firm devotion daily, and rise above the my connection with Maya and this ocean of suffering. My only support to do this is the mercy of the Vaishnavas, which is vitata dalani, which destroys all illusion. Okay, so hopefully now these words are all clear. We'll recite the Sanskrit one more time. Harir dasyam dharmo mama tu chirakalam prakritito mahamaya yogad abhinipatita dukkha jaladho ito yasyam yurdvam Sva-niyama suratya pratidina sahayo me matram vitata dalani Vaiṣṇava kripa. Okay, and now we come to the last verse, the benediction verse. Let's recite the Sanskrit and then we'll go through the translation. Kritam kenapyetat svabhajana vidho swam-niyamakam pated yo vishraddha priya yugala ruper pitamana vraje Rādhā Krishno bhajati kila samprapya nilayam swamanjarya paschar vividavari vasyam sakurute. Okay. So Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura is saying, 1 second, let me just reference this. Nija bhajananushthanir janna kono nishkinchana harijan kartrik rachit e suya. Okay. So he said, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says that this these self-imposed rules, Sva-niyama. Swa means self, and niyamakam means, these rules. So these self-imposed rules, Sva-niyama, which explains my method, the regulations, the method. Veto is not really method. Anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna say that. It explains my method of performing bhajan, swa-bhajana vido, swa-niyamakam. This was kritam. This was composed. Kritam means composed by kenapitat, by just some worthless soul. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura in his humility is to say, this is composed just by just any worthless random person. And then he says, yo pated. Yo means who? Pated, who recites this, who reads or recites this, Vaiṣṇavas, with faith, with firm faith, with strong faith. Not just Shraddha, but Vaiṣṇavas, with strong faith. But they don't just recite it with faith, but they offer their heart. Arpita means offering, and mana means heart. They offer their heart to Priya Yugala Rupe. Now, Priya Yugala Rup has two meanings. So one meaning is the Rup, the form of the dear divine couple. Actually, I need to see. I'm just noticing now words that I missed in the translation here. Anyhow, I noticed two places. This Swabhajana Vido is missing from the translation, and this Priya Yugala Rup, I need to add the word Priya. But anyhow, let's see. So by offering my heart to Priya Yugala Rupa, so that means the first meaning is the dear form of the divine couple, which refers to Mahaprabhu, right? That's the form of the divine couple combined is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So offering my heart to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's the combined form of Radha and Krishna, or to their Priya, to the divine couples, Priya, very dear, Sri Rupa, refers to Rupa Goswami and Rupa Manjari. In Mahaprabhu's pastimes, Rupa Goswami, Radha Krishna's pastimes, Rupa Manjari. So they're Rupa Goswami. So offering my heart to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Sri Rupa, to that person who does that, who recites this while with faith and offering their heart to Priya Yugala Rupa. And then let's see. I'm just looking at the translation really quick. That person, Vraje, in Vraj, Bhajati Kila Samprapya. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out. Okay. That person in Vraj to Radha Krishna, they will certainly, Samprapya, they will attain Nilayam. Nilayam means residence. And they'll also attain they'll be able to worship Radha and Krishna in Vraj. So they'll attain residence in Vraj, and they'll be able to worship Radha and Krishna in Vraj. And then Swa-manjarya, that means and Pashtad. So Pashtad means following. So following Swa-manjarya, Swa means their own manjari. So following their manjari, Vivida. Vivida means various varivasyam, services. So engaged in various services, sa kurute, they will do. They will be engaged. They will be engaged in vivida varivasyam. And vivida means various services. Sa kurute, they'll be thus engaged. Sa means he, that person, yo. Sa kurute, he will do. He will perform. Perform is a better word. He'll perform various services. Pashtad, following Swa-manjarya, his manjari. But yeah, that this was I need to understand this verse a bit better and I need to fix up this translation a bit. But that's the basic idea. So that's it for our program. It's now 8 o'clock. We'll just recite this one last time, the Sanskrit, and then that's our program for today. So Kritam ke napyetat swabhajana vidho swam-niyamakam patedyo vishraddha priya yugala ruper pitamana vraje radha krishna bhajati kila samprapya nilayam swamanjarya paschar vivida varivasyam sakurute. Anyone who with strong faith recites these self-imposed rules composed by a worthless soul and offers their heart to Yugal Rup, Sri Gaurasundar, who is the combined form of Radha and Krishna, or to their dear Sri Rupa. That person will certainly attain a place in Vrajadam, perform bhajan of Shri Radha Krishna, and following their manjari, engage in various services. They will samprapya nilayam, they will attain a place in Vraj. That person will bhajati Radha Krishna. That person will perform bhajan of Radha Krishna. And Swa-manjarya paschat, following their manjari, they will be engaged. That person, kurute, will be engaged in vivida varivasyam, in various services of the divine couple. Jai. All right. So, yeah, it's 8 o'clock, so we'll end here. And tomorrow we will begin our new program to go through all the verses of Śrīla Raghunath Das Goswami's Vāṣṇavas Prarthana Dashakam. So, yeah, I'm really excited for this program. Actually, it's such a it's so helpful to be able to have these verses in your mind, so that when you're on, even if you're just walking through a park or something like that, you can go through the Govardhan Ras Prarthana Dashakam and be in that mindset that I'm in Govardhan, I'm praying to Giriraj, may I always be near you. And then even if you're not able to be near Giriraj by body, but you pray to Giriraj, Nija Nikartanivasam, Dehi Govardhanatam, please give me a place near you, even by mind, may I be absorbed that I'm near you always. And anyways, these verses are our greatest assets in our devotional practice, and chanting Harinam and all the devotional activities that we do. It gives so much more like strength to it, and it makes it so much more juicy and alive and fresh, and like this. Otherwise, we're just stuck with our own useless thoughts and whatever junk we have in our minds. But all these verses can like push out that junk, and it's the words of Śrīla Raghunath Das Goswami. What could be more powerful than that? And to have that floating in our minds, that that completely purifies everything, and makes whatever the practice that we do extremely powerful. And the amazing thing is, every time we go through these verses, then it makes more impact and more impact, and it increases our desire to follow them more, and makes our aspiration, more one-pointed. Every time we sing it, it's like it increases. And so, yeah, we're so lucky to have this opportunity, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Okay, so for those who are on Zoom, if you'd like to stay, I'm going to do another half-hour focus session. Let me just look on YouTube and Facebook to see if there are any comments there. I see Krishna Maya Didi, Dandavat Pranams. And I see 5 other devotees. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to stop the video, the stream here, and we're going to continue on Zoom. And also, if anybody wants to join these focus sessions, I do it before the verse explanation and after the verse explanation. Yeah, so tomorrow at half an hour before this program starts at 6:30 a.m. India time, I start a focus session. And you can just choose whatever practice that you want to cultivate and then give your full mind, energy, and everything attention to that for half an hour. And we're just here to support each other to make sure we don't get distracted or anything. Like we're carving out this time for this particular practice. And then after the verse explanation, today we're going to just do half an hour, but normally we do 45 minutes. So, all right, Hare Krishna. Thank you everybody for joining. Jai Shri Radhe. Yeah, I'm ending the stream now. And yeah, hope to see you tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.